Yo, what's up? I'm the chess guy, and I have another viewer game for you today, where I play against a 1300 player. He plays the London system, which is, pretty solid opening, and I play a modern opening against this. It's a fun game. I managed to have a lot of pressure against this king, whereas my opponent sort of lacks any potential attacking towards my king. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get started. Good luck. This is a 3 plus 5. Alright. Okay, let's play my modern opening, because I do like this opening a lot, and it's very simple. And it seems that they will just play the London system, which is also a solid choice, and can be played against pretty much anything. This is the correct capture, towards the center and maintaining 2 central pawns. Guess we're both developing. So I think the London player would play h3 here, making sure that there is never any knight h5 again, like in my game against Honeypot. Because you want to maintain this bishop, if you can. So now I do have the choice of knight h5. The bishop can go here, and then I can do once again this maneuver, right? But since this is a London, and the dark square bishop is such an important piece in these openings, I want to play knight h5 and get rid of it. Okay. Yeah, we take that. I didn't want to allow bishop h4. So on the upside for white is they have the open h-file. On the downside is they got lost their dark squared bishop. And I do think queenside castles is pretty dangerous. The c-file is opened. And with this bishop, no counterpart, I don't really see white getting off a crazy attack here. But let's develop. Does go for the queenside castle. We'll play some normal moves, improve our rook, putting on an open file. Our queen goes to a5 and then knight b4 could come. There's also some ideas of e5, opening up the position if possible. b5, maybe sacking a pawn. I like this move. Because if the bishop goes here, maybe I check, and if e4, I sack the exchange and play bishop takes e4, getting a good position. And yeah, maybe you allow me to take here, but if I take, then I go b5, sacrifice the pawns, and not completely sure about that. So I could improve my queen and threaten mate, but I think a3 comes. And then the knight is pinned towards the queen. So that's a bit awkward. This knight does no longer look at b4, so... What I can do is takes bishop f4, there's e4. I can play for d5 and then I'm threatening to take, but probably the knight goes to f4. That doesn't solve anything. No, but this is a move that plays for tricks, and I give away the e5 square for the knight. And I kind of wanted to push e5 myself. Okay, we're gonna take this one and play queen a5. Just putting all of our pieces on logical squares. Because long term we have the better pawn structure and the bishop pair. And the white attack is not really happening. They have the h-file, but that's it. Okay, let's push the b-pawn. You're gonna play knight d5, right? Simply go rook e8. And then d6, e6. I think that's fine. Yo, Toasted Guava, welcome back. I remember that username. What's up, Abhishek? So let's see what's gonna happen here.
Thank you for the follow.
Rook versus Hook, Leonardo Deku. Welcome, guys. Happy Fridays.
Thank you for the follow.
And soundly as well. What's so funny in your username? Nothing, it's just toasted guava. It sounds funny. Okay, the knight goes back to d2. It's an original username as well. Why would your knight go back here? What is your idea? I guess you want to rewrite your knight to defend, but I'm fine if you're going to defend. So, like I said, I have long-term advantages here, so I don't need to force anything. This is kind of funny, but it doesn't really work. If I go here, the knight goes here, so I'm probably going to end up going back all the way to d8. So if knight d5, I'm already defending e7. Now the a pawn is ready to be pushed. Hello, Trisha Shavi. Good morning, Jess Traufa. And good morning, Mary Puffins. So knight d5, it's a good position for the knight. If I chase it with the bishop, the knight goes to f4, and if I take, queen takes. So let's chase this with the pawn. And our bishop at some point will be decent on this diagonal, and from d7 it supports this a4 square. But we just dropped a pawn, so that's stupid, but it's a pawn sack. We can very easily sell this as a pawn sacrifice. Not to worry. But weirdly enough, I kind of forgot about the pawn on b4. 5 plus 5 is good, Mr. Hungry. Okay, so let's just push it. So the biggest thing that we can achieve is get rid of this pawn, because that would bring our bishop to life. So the only way we can actually do it is with e5. This d4 is so securely defended that it's very unlikely that's going to happen. So do we push all the way forward? There's maybe knight c4, but we can take that and take this one. I mean, Lalap is giving us a very good fight, for sure. Rook goes to b8, the other rook goes to c8. When you have a long-term advantage, the key is kind of to slowly improve. Slowly and continuously make your pieces better while your opponent's pieces are getting worse. So although I lost a pawn, I'm trying to make sure that these knights don't all of a sudden get some great squares here in the center, while continuing to apply pressure and keep white busy with defending stuff. So right now, of course, mate in 1 is a thing. We could play something like queen b4 and hitting the knight on the next move, which would be a threat. But I expect after queen b4 the knight goes back, hitting our queen. Maybe we should first improve this rook. But he'll play rook c1, and then if we go here, here, can we take that? Queen takes, takes. It doesn't really look like we can. So let's open the position as much as possible. Would take queen takes would be a blunder. I simply move my queen and you lose your queen. Knight takes. We can add on to this pressure here with bishop a4, which looks pretty good. So we'll do that. We don't want to just take and win one pawn, because that would also mean we trade queens, which is far from ideal. That's something that just happened. What do I do now? I think I can take, because pawn takes is forced. Put this rook on the other open file. And we're gonna double up somewhere, or... don't know yet. Maybe it's finally time for e5, getting this last bishop in the game. Since the amount of pieces protecting d4 is significantly reduced from white side. That's a decent move. Let's drop the queen back to... an active square would be here. Do that. Maybe queen c3, but that's really dangerous. Okay. I don't want to trade queens. You could take there. Oh, sorry. Take A first, A8 first, and then take here. But I feel like there's still some problems to be resolved. Plus, I can take G2, and maybe the kingside pawns all of a sudden collapse. Okay. We take. Now this rook is getting in. And we seriously soften up the d4 pawn. And also therefore this diagonal. And yeah, now it will come down to a little bit of a time scramble, unfortunately. That will not be really great. Let's go here. Here. Now there's some tactics, you gotta be careful. I might take there and then take here. Well spotted. You're now having to defend this pawn, so maybe rook a4 is an idea. Nice one. What if I go here? Creating threats on the a file. Top of that, there's maybe d5, queen e2. And finally, our attack seems to rush through. Let's go here, hit the knight, and I think this is very strong, because check, if blocks, the other rook gets in on a2. d4 falls, and a lot of stuff falls on the second rank. So, wait. Check, rook blocks, check, king here. Takes, queen takes. It's playable. Is there something better? Maybe I should have checked and take the pawn instead of d5. Oh, for how long have I had rook c8? Actually, only after we moved the pawn. So added bonus, d5 was good, but only because of this move. And I didn't realize until now. Yes, my chat is also seeing this move, and Lalup resigns. So a very, very nice game, Lalup. For your rating, you played extremely well. So I think if you're a London player, you gotta be aware that your bishop, you do not want to trade. You might want to trade it against this g7 bishop, but I think this is a very important bishop to you. You don't want to simply let this happen. And if it happens, try and sell it for the most. So I would assume bishop g5, h6, here g4, at least forces me to push my pawns, which you can then use, maybe that you weaken this diagonal. But I don't really like that you allowed this terrain to happen, and then probably queenside castle is too dangerous, because as it was shown in this game, you never had any threats towards my king, and although you defended really well, throughout the whole game, you were worried about your king, and there were constant threats. So you'd be better off cancelling short. And yeah, that's it. GG's. So I want to talk about one specific moment with this game where I thought I had something good, but there was actually a tactical motive that allowed white to get away with the dark squared bishop not getting traded off against the knight, or me being the black pieces have to play a very hefty price. So in the game, I thought that after knight c3, knight h5 would be good because I'm getting the dark squared bishop. So it turns out that after bishop g4, h6, bishop h4, pawn to g5, there is a much better move than bishop g3 here. So the actual best move according to the engine would be knight d2. Because now the queen attacks the knight, and if black takes the bishop, then the pawn structure is completely ruined. And this would be a fair price to pay, because although white has lost his important dark square bishop, the black structure is in ruins, and you're likely going to win a pawn here as well. If you don't want to allow that as black, you got to go knight of 6. But then white is able to sort of save his dark square bishop, which is an important piece in the London. And yeah, now I've sort of ruined a little bit of the structure on my king, and this diagonal might get very weak. So yeah, this is one of the moments. There's some other tactical motives that the computer saw throughout this very sharp game that might have been stronger, but it was a blitz game, so I don't really care too much about that. But this idea, I just wanted to show you. So if you enjoyed the video, there's more of these videos coming very soon, so please consider subscribing. And yeah, Hope I'll see you on the next one.